I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've probably recorded this game more over the last 6 months to a year than I have since I used to record the series back 6 or 7 years ago. And honestly, I credit that to my creative director, aka my brother, for reinvigorating my excitement level in TEW and just getting me interested again in the game. I credit him for that. But either way, the creativity doesn't stop as we find our way into December 1982, which means we are 2 weeks away from the end of the year. We are 2 weeks away from starting anew, and 2 weeks away from 1983. The fact of the matter is, the year don't stop because Christmas Clash will premiere on pay-per-view before 1982 is up. And chaos will reign with Christmas Clash premiering on pay-per-view in a couple of weeks. But with that being said, let's get into this week's edition of Slamfest. Max Patriot and Clint Wayne defeat the returning Andres Galamana and Dean Ward. Clint Wayne and Max Patriot are showing their way as a tag team and building up to the eventual match between themselves and the big-time stars Warren Hampton and Tex Montana. Ramon de los Santos is making his presence felt, first time cutting a promo, and his first match in a couple of weeks. This match against El Aguila Americana, as El Aguila Americana has been one of the guys that have been sitting on the sidelines for the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of months, and I figured, you know what, why the heck not? Ramon de los Santos gets the victory, and that's why I wanted to get Ramon back in the ring. It's because Ramon is a premier athlete in, he's a premier athlete for the company, so I wanted to do what it took to get him some challengers. And even though Aguila is not going to stay around long term, it would at least give me some time to work with to get him some challengers. And speaking of challengers, the Price Weather Collective is primed and ready to go tonight with Slater White and Amiri Anjala and Adrian Romero taking the center stage, but Luis Montero and Dexter Priceweather are both conspicuous by their absence, and we will find out why next week on Slamfest. But we move to the Supreme Connection patting themselves on the back. The one person that is actually missing from this is Gabriel Peterson, and Mr. Peterson should be in it, but he's not. But either way, Mickey Starr and Rick Rumble interrupt the Supreme Connection, patting themselves on the back for taking out Mickey Starr. But Mickey Starr makes his return, and Rick Rumble both make their return as they've been gone since the live tour, after getting beaten and bloodied by the Supreme Connection 2 weeks ago, and getting beaten by Hollywood and Wildman. Mickey Starr and Rick Rumble disappeared for a week, and now they're back, ready to field the questions as we move forward to Christmas Clash. Kronos and Hagar get back in the ring against Percy Devine and Gio Romero. Kronos and Hagar needed a victory, so they got one in a tag team match, and it reconciled with Aries and Angus leading the charge, talking about the Christmas Clash contest 4-on-4, Angus, Kronos, Hagar, and Abel against Malcolm Rogue, Ray Kingman, Maxwell, and a partner that will be announced tonight. Honestly, I am confident that we should be okay. Dusty Streets gets back in the ring. Dusty did amazing with Frank Rock. I wasn't expecting a 91 in-ring performance from Dusty Streets, but either way, a positive outcome for someone that has not really been featured much recently. And now we move to Coach offering Dusty the top spot, replacing his son. Coach Pangrazio wants to take some pressure off of Sam Keith as Sam Keith learns the craft and gets himself slowly but surely progressing to the top. That Sam Keith is the prospect, but Dusty Streets would be the premier athlete in the All-Star team. Coach says, look, Dusty, you've had a rough go of things. You may not trust a lot of people right now, but the fact of the matter is, I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm willing to give you an opportunity because I see what you can be, and we have an open spot in the All-Star team, and I'd be willing to give it to you. You can take the spot that was left by my son, and you could join the All-Star team and be our top star. For those who may not be aware, Richie Pangrazio over the summer, just before the summertime, was signed away by California, and that left the All-Star team in an interesting, place where many thought that Coach would be make the All-Star team to have it where when he leaves, Richie would be the one taking it over. But that won't be the case now because Richie's in California. So now Dusty and Sam Keith are going to be the top athletes alongside Warren Hampton and Tex Montana in the All-Star team. But Dusty is given a week to officially make up his mind if he wants to be a member or not of the All-Star team. Wildman and Dredd have been challenged off and on for the last couple of weeks by Ace and Blackjack. Ace and Blackjack want one more shot, one more opportunity at the World Tag Team titles because they know they're on borrowed time. They know they're not going to be around forever, but Goldstein Law came face to face with the Deadly Gamble, and the match is official. If the Gamble want a shot, name the time and the place, and they got it. But this also helps Dredd. This helps Gavin Stardale. This helps Artie Goldstein because you got an 85 in Wildman. You got an 80, I believe, in Ace McQueen, an 80 to 82 to 83 in Blackjack, and an 86 in Hollywood Mike Kinsey. You got the top stars of SWF trying to help the next generation of stars get to the next level, and Artie Goldstein. But it's a lot of people trying to help each other get to the next level and pull each other up. Because as my creative director says, it's not knocking other people down, it's bringing other people up. But also, this is the first time these four men, the Gamble and Goldstein Law, are face to face with each other after nearly a month of back and forth, where the Deadly Gamble want a shot and Goldstein Law basically just say, we're the champions now. When we win, when we defend the titles, we get paid and we make money. So it don't matter who the challengers are. It matters if it's on pay-per-view or not. A solid outing between Katie Petronal and Valerie Gordy. And honestly, part of me wishes Valerie Gordy was able to stay, but because of an owner goal where anybody below a certain reputation in the business cannot stick around, it makes it where I can't re-sign her. Which is 100% unfortunate. Which is 100% unfortunate and something I wish wasn't the case. But she can always come back eventually. And I could always make sure that, honestly, I could always make sure that she ends up somewhere else still improving her skills, but, or honing her skills, I should say. But, not, but it's not going to happen here. Which is fine because she already got elevated more than Holly Pewter did. And that's why I trust Mickey Starr. A 95 is something to write home about. Mickey Starr and Rick Rumble basically laid down the truth. And the truth is, they thought they took us out, but we were down but not out, and now we have it. Game on. They don't think we're going to keep fighting. They don't know me then. They don't know us then. Because, Rick, you stood by me. You wanted to prove yourself, and in my opinion, you did more than prove yourself, my friend. Welcome back to the side of the good. Because for those who may not be aware, Rick Rumble actually turned on Mickey Starr a couple of years ago, before the Flames did. But it wasn't officially known that it was Rick Rumble that turned on Mickey Starr, because Rick Rumble donned the mask of the outlaw. He donned the mask of the outlaw, and it was unquestionably a question. Who was it? Who was under the mask? And in a feud with the Flames, it was revealed that it turned out to be Rick Rumble. You know, it turned out to be Rick Rumble as the man behind the mask, but he never answered to Mickey Starr. He answered to the Flames first. But now we move and we find out that the final member of Team Malcolm Rogue against Aries Titans at Christmas Clash will be Rocky Streets, which means it is Ray Kingman, Malcolm Rogue, Rocky Streets, and Maxwell Alton against Aries Titans at Christmas Clash. 4-on-4, an 8-man tag team match. It is one of 2 8-man tag team matches set for Christmas Clash. The other 8-man tag team match is the Supreme Connection versus Mickey Starr, Sam Strong, Rick Rumble, and the man that will return tonight. And we got a solid main event. It is one of the sparingly small matches that Brooklyn Punk has actually lost this year. The Brooklyn Punk actually loses so infrequently this year that it makes us wonder when Brooklyn Punk actually does lose. And that is because of 6 months. Actually, I don't think it was 6 months. I think it was close to 10. 10 months that the Brooklyn Punk was World Television Champion, becoming the longest reigning television champion in the history of Supreme Wrestling. And honestly, the only person to hold the title longer than 6 months was Brooklyn Punk. But this is Brooklyn Punk falling victim to Mickey Starr. And then we had the return of Romeo Hart. Romeo Hart comes back with a bat to even things up. He comes back with a bat to even things up against the Supreme Connection as they tried for the 4-on-2, but Romeo Hart made his presence felt, returning after a month's suspension and sending the heels running, because even though it is still 4-on-3, Romeo Hart's got a bat and ain't afraid to use it. So now it is interesting, because if you go back to 1980, when Sam Strong was still... No. If you go back to 1981, when Sam Strong was still brand new, the Flames turned heel And the Flames turned heel and were against Mickey Starr, Rick Rumble, and the Max Patriot. Now it is Mickey Starr, Rick Rumble, Romeo Hart, and Sam Strong against the Brooklyn Punk, the Flames, and Gabriel Peterson. Things have changed in a short period of time, but not too much. Have things changed? But not too much have things changed in this small window of time since the last time these guys had an 8-man tag. I'm going to look back actually now. I'm going to actually look back now and see it as we get another 84. I'm just going to point it out as Bert Selleck is our man of choice. I just want to point it out before we wrap it up because this actually went a lot quicker than some of these other ones do. We're actually not going to look at that. I might. But if we went over here and if we went over here and looked at our top matches, well, if we looked at our top shows, you're going to see a lot of the top shows are from the back half of 1982 because of my creative director figuring out certain aspects that we could do better to make the show better. But we have matches that have threatened Mickey Starr versus Luis Montero, but nothing has surpassed Mickey Starr versus Luis Montero as the match of the year for 1982. And the fact of the matter is, I will actually be doing an awards show in 1983 basically focused on things like Wrestler of the Year, Next Generation, Match of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Manager of the Year, etc., etc., etc. And those will be determined by my creative director. So I am actually pulling some of these matches because it makes more sense to change it up and do some other matches instead and not just base it completely off of an 8-man tag. But if you want to see more SWF, thank you. If you want to see more SWF, then like and subscribe because I am more than willing to do more and record more when it comes to SWF because I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But with that being said, I will see you in the next one.